Hi, I'm Dabby, but you can call me Dabz.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
So today I'm reviewing The Pigeon by Patrick Suskind. So this book is about this man named Jonathan Noel, and after these like almost extreme events in his life, such as losing his parents, going to war, and his wife running away with another lover, his only aspiration in his life is to live like a very routine and orderly life. So he lives in this small flat that he rents out in Paris, and he works as a security guard, and he only interacts with the people that he needs to, and he kind of does the same exact routine every single day. And this is how he has achieved his goal for around 30 years. But this novel depicts one specific day in Jonathan's life where he expects that his life is going to be like ordinary, like every other day, but everything is kind of turned upside down when he finds this pigeon in the hallway of his apartment. So I had a fun time with this book. If there was any word to describe it, I think I would say it was very strange. I've heard a lot of people say that the style of this book is similar to Kafka. Plot of it, it was like seemingly not much substance in the plot. I mean, it's only like one day in this guy's life. But I still found myself wanting to read more, find out what happens next. Like, it was interesting. It was almost like a surreal experience reading this book because you kind of find yourself like enthralled and interested by the main character's like intense actions and feelings to this like these almost minor inconveniences in his life, like these little things that happen, and he's like so mentally like shocked or panicked or like just not okay with these things that happen to him. It was interesting to read about that. So the writing style in this book was very descriptive. Of course, there was a little bit of dialogue in it, but it was mostly like plot and description. And it is written in another language, I think French. It's translated into English. So it wasn't too complex, but there were points where there was a lot of description happening of like the scene or of the main character's feelings. And there were definitely words that I had to look up personally because I didn't know the definitions of them. So that was one thing that I like just personally had trouble with when I was reading this book. So I think the author does a really good job of hooking the reader, especially in the very beginning of the book. In the beginning of the book, he describes like he's like before the pigeon affair, and it kind of makes the readers wonder like what's the story going to be about, like what is the pigeon about, and he does that right before he drops a lot of information about Jonathan's life, which the information isn't necessarily boring, but it's like a little bit long. It's kind of like an info dump, and because he kind of introduces like this interesting story, makes the readers wonder what it's going to be about before he does that, it urges them to read through this long section and like makes it interesting. So this book, I think, more than anything, it made me think a lot. It made me think about how past events can influence the way that you live your life now, especially when you analyze like Jonathan's past and like how losing so many people may have caused him to have a fear of like relying on people now, which explains like why he doesn't interact with other people. Or even how like changes in your routine, they can be like scary for you, but in reality they may not be all that bad, and you kind of see that when you compare like Jonathan's reactions to the pigeon to like when you're a reader, you're like, why is he making such a big deal out of this? It's not a big deal. I don't know, in general, I just love reading Jonathan's thoughts as he spiraled over this thing that to us as readers seems almost ridiculous, and I love to kind of think about like the messages that are introduced in the text, and like, I don't know, the book makes you think. So overall, because this book is so short, it's like literally, I think it's 75 pages, and the words, like the text on this page is like big too. I think it's worth it to give it a try. I think that people will enjoy this book for the most part, and even if you don't enjoy it, it's not like such a big commitment because it's such a short story. So yeah, I think I'd give this book maybe three and a half stars. I also just bought Perfume by the same author. It's a more popular book of his, and if it's anything like this, similar to this like writing style, anything like that, I'm super excited for that, so stay tuned for that review. So that will be the end of my book review. If you like this video, then like this video and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and happy reading. Of the story in the beginning of the story, he to the pigeon incident, so for more content like this, thank you for watching. don't know why I did that.